Good morning, children, and welcome back to our online classes. Today, we are going to learn the chapter Red-Headed League, which is all about a detective story. Red-Headed League is one of the 56 Sherlock Holmes short stories written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It first appeared in Strand magazine in 1891 and was included in the short story collection The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is a fictional private detective created by the British author Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Sherlock Holmes is known for his keen observation, knowledge of many fields, making accurate guesses, and Dr. John H. Watson, who is not only Sherlock Holmes' friend but also a biographer, accompanies Holmes during his investigations and often shares quarters with him at the address of 221B Baker Street, London, where many of the stories begin. So let's understand the characters in this story, The Red-Headed League. Sherlock Holmes, the famous detective; Dr. Watson, a doctor and Sherlock Holmes' friend; Jabez Wilson, a red-haired shopkeeper; Vincent Spaulding, Wilson's assistant, who was also known as John Clay; Duncan Ross, who is Spaulding's accomplice, a man with red hair. And finally, we have Mr. Jones, a detective from Scotland Yard. So with these characters, let's proceed into the story. The play, The Red-Headed League. Dr. John Watson pays a visit to his friend Sherlock Holmes and finds him talking to Jabez Wilson, whose hair is fiery red. Holmes declares that Wilson's case is a unique one and asks him to describe it. Wilson explains that he has a pawnbroker's business. His assistant Vincent Spaulding, who was hired, has accepted to be paid less than usual for the job. So that was the reason why he hired Vincent Spaulding, even though he did not need an assistant, because he agreed to work for half of the wages. Wilson claims that Spaulding also has certain drawbacks. He spends much time in the cellar developing photos, which is like a hobby for him. So that is what Spaulding tells, that he is going to the cellar to for the photography, to develop the photos. And we know to develop the photos, they need a dark place, is it not? So one day Spaulding tells Wilson about a vacancy at the Red-Headed League. And it's a well-paid, simple job for a red-headed man. So this article is brought to Jabez Wilson by Vincent Spaulding, and he reads out the necessities for the Red-Headed League. And he tells him that he would be well-paid. So they go together to the offices of the league, where they find the other red-haired men too. So after going there, Jabez Wilson meets Duncan Ross, who is the manager. And Wilson soon gets selected for the job, where he is expected to work from 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. That means 4 hours work, and the condition is that he should not leave the office at any cost. During this period, he needs to copy the Encyclopedia Britannica. This is the work that he has to do. He did not understand why should somebody copy the encyclopedia. He had a doubt, but still he thought that anyways he is being paid, so why should he bother much about it? So after 8 weeks working there, Wilson arrives at the office only to find that both the league and the manager have disappeared. So the shop is closed, and it is written there that the Red-Headed League is dissolved on October 9, 1890. So this is what has been written there. And it is in this moment that he decides that something is wrong. His money is gone after working hard, and he decides to contact Sherlock Holmes. The detective suspected about Vincent Spaulding and the fact that Wilson hired him a short time before the whole thing started. So Immediately Sherlock Holmes started suspecting Vincent Spaulding only, because why would someone get hired for half of the wages? And just after he was hired, all this has happened. Holmes asks Watson to come in the evening to go to Wilson's shop. Holmes explores the area and then hits the ground with his stick. And after that, he is finding out if the cellar is in front of the shop. So he was doing some kind of investigation. So after that, he knocks on the door, and when Spaulding opens it, he asks him for directions. So he asks the directions of some strand. Where is the strand? That is what he asks him. Holmes explains Watson that he wanted to see Spaulding's trouser knees, which were dirty, and so pretended asking him the way. Actually, he did not want to know the direction of the Strand because he knew London very well. But he just wanted to see this Vincent Spaulding and to notice what he was up to. He then takes Watson to the other side of the street to see the buildings behind Wilson's shop. So when he doesn't find the cellar in front, he goes back to find out if the cellar is there behind. And he observes that one of these buildings is a bank. So the back side of the shop, there is a bank, the first bank. Holmes asks Watson to meet him at 10 o'clock. So he immediately suspects something, and he says that let's meet at 10 o'clock that night and also bring a revolver, because he believes there is a crime to be committed. When Watson arrives at Holmes' office, he finds him with two men, Mr. Jones, a police officer, and Mr. Merriweather, a bank manager. Holmes claims that they are going to trap the famous thief John Clay that night. So the way he was described, he feels that it must be John Clay. That is, Vincent Spaulding must be John Clay only and nobody else. So that is what he suspects. Okay. So the four men take cabs to the bank behind and Wilson's shop and wait in the cellar without any light. After waiting for what seemed an eternity, they see a light coming from the floor, followed by a hand, finally by a man, John Clay. It turns out that John Clay was actually Wilson's assistant, Spaulding. So he had come there with another name called Vincent Spaulding, but he was a notorious thief, John Clay. And Sherlock Holmes suspected that he must be John Clay, and he also suspected that since that day was a Saturday, so there must be a robbery in the bank, and that is because the next day was a Sunday, and therefore these people would have planned it that night. And one more reason was that this Red-Headed League was dissolved on the very same day, because the digging of the tunnel work from the cellar to the strong room was done. So they dissolved the league. So this is what was all the suspicion that Sherlock Holmes had, and he was true also. So immediately he could catch hold of Spaulding without he escaping anywhere. And he took the help of another detective called as Mr. Jones. So finally, Clay was caught because he was also helping who was his assistant along with him in the accomplice who was there? Duncan Ross, whose actual name he had told to his neighbor was Wilson Morris. Okay, so both of them were together responsible for this act, and they had very intelligently planned about the Red-Headed League, which was only made to keep Jabez Wilson away from the pawn shop. Okay, so Clay was going to help another man to get out from a hole in the floor, but Holmes grabs him and Mr. Jones takes him to the police station, and the other man escapes. And now Holmes explains Watson that the purpose of the Red-Headed League was to keep Wilson away from his shop so that Clay could dig a tunnel to the bank, which was the reason why he accepted so little money for his job. Spaulding's worn trouser knees, which were muddy, yes, as well as the hollow sound of the ground, confirmed Holmes' suspicions that they must be digging a tunnel. Lastly, the sudden disappearance of the League made him guess that the crime was about to be committed that day itself. Okay, so very interesting story, and you have seen how intelligent, keen, observant, and you can say he was courageous also, Sherlock Holmes was. So these are the characters of Sherlock Holmes. Okay, clear children? Hope you have enjoyed this play and understood the story. So complete the exercises in your textbook.